Welcome everyone. It's another Flare Factor. We've missed you last week, but luckily I think I've seen some of you crop up to the show by Will and Steve. And now we will be talking with Nick from Oxen Flow. I'm really looking forward to seeing it all work and hearing what the background is behind this product. Before we start, let me just quickly go into one or two news items. So, as most viewers will know, we have two periods. We have one period where you pay this buy-in fee, which is to offset the effect that you have on the APY of the people who are already staked. And then there is this period of 7 days in every 30-day cycle where you don't have to pay that fee. That's right now. So if you plan to stake, liquid stake, this is the moment to get that or make sure that you don't have to pay that 4.4%. It should last until the 13th of April, 12 UTC. So, before that would be best. Then S-Flare is now available for perps on Spark DEX. That's a new thing. So I checked it this morning. I saw there was still a lot of Flare there for perps, which of course is great. But if you could hold S-Flare instead of Flare, you would get your rewards from the network. Flare drop staking rewards and such, and you could use the perps. So I suggest everybody changes that, but I can't give that advice, obviously. So let's continue with Nick. Nick, welcome.
Hey Lex, how's it going?
All good here. We had a little break, so also a lot to chat up on. So you're from Oxen Flow. Would you like to tell something about yourself and the company and why it is that you are here?
Sure, yeah. So I'll give a little bit of background on myself first. I'm Nick. I have been an iOS developer in the corporate world for about a decade. About 4 years ago, I started developing, in the cryptocurrency space. I originally started out as a data provider on Songbird. So when Flare Networks launched their Canary network Songbird, I was one of the original data providers to start providing data for the Canary network for the FTSO. So I wrote, my data provider. I launched subsequently with Flare and have been an infrastructure provider ever since. And as you can see behind, I run the Aureus Ox data provider on Flare. So I'm now full-time on Oxen Flow and Aureus Ox. Oxen Flow pretty much came about. It's an application. It's an iOS application. I wanted to use my iOS expertise from my corporate days and kind of translate that into the crypto space. I really wanted to apply some of the knowledge that I've learned and some of the and use some of that to actually bring about a good user experience to the space, because I saw that was kind of something that might have been lacking. But yeah, so that's a little bit about myself, a little bit about Oxen Flow and how it started. And I guess we can get a little bit more into it.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction. I think it's a very welcome addition, to be honest, at least for me. I can definitely say from my experience that going into blockchain was not an easy ride. First okay, let's go to a central exchange. Then someone tells you, what if you want to do something with that token you have there, like get more of it while you sit on your hands, you're going to have to go to the actual blockchain and you need a wallet and this and that. And I was like, oh my God, why is it so difficult? And I think you're going to show us something that goes into at least solving part of that painful experience.
Right, absolutely. I mean, one of the most painful experiences there is when you enter the blockchain space is the wallet experience and onboarding into that wallet experience. How do you generate a wallet? What do I do with these private keys? What's this seed phrase? Like, most people don't really have any clue what that is. They go to Coinbase, they'll buy, or any other exchange. They'll buy whatever they have and they'll keep it there. And right, ideally in this space, like you don't want that. We're kind of the decentralized idealists to where everybody should own their assets and control them and be able to use them. And in order to use them, they do need to use a wallet. So there is this requirement, that is sort of, it's not gate kept, but it is a barrier to entry. And really the idea with Oxen Flow is that we at least taper back some of that barrier. I mean, yeah, I can go and I can show a little bit of Oxen Flow, do a little bit of a demo. Really, what we focused on originally with Oxen Flow is that onboarding portion. What we did was sort of kind of get away from the whole, write down your seed phrase when you open up the wallet, and you have to secure that. You don't really know what it does. But what Oxen Flow does is we use Web3 auth, and we created a user flow where you can use a passkey. So you authenticate with your Face ID. And behind the scenes, what happens is you have a sharded key. So, this might be a little bit technical for the space, but really what happens is one portion of your key is stored by you on your device itself. There's a recovery portion in the form of a seed phrase, which is not as important because it is only one portion of the key. And then there's also another portion which is generated when you authenticate with your pass key. So if one of those is compromised, say your device is compromised, you can still go and recover the other, your account. If that seed recovery portion is compromised, you wouldn't get your wallet drained. And, and you can go to another device and you can regenerate your account with the recovery phrase, even though that's the compromised portion. So we kind of thought about all these different ways that something can be compromised, or how you can manage, or how to manage these keys, and try to abstract it all out so it makes it easier and not as risk on as it is traditionally. So really all you need is an email. You need an email, and you can authenticate with your Face ID on an iOS device, and you're good to go. So I mean, I guess with that, I can give a little demo of how that works.
Awesome. Yeah, just in between, like security is very important, but I have also noticed that if you make security too difficult, you actually create security risks. Of course, like everybody knows the sticky notes on monitors with passwords, but like as said, like passphrases that are hanging somewhere in a text file on the computer because that's easy to get to and stuff like that. It's
right, and that's the thing, like their user error is a big issue, especially in this space. User error is just, it's something that you need to keep in mind whenever you're trying to navigate crypto or do anything in the space these days. So, I mean, that's where a lot of the risk lies. And if we can kind of abstract that out, and we do it in more ways than just onboarding, right? With Flare, in order to delegate or interact with the blockchain, you need to wrap your tokens, and you have to wrap your Flare. We abstract that out. We add it to the transaction queue so that you're wrapping and doing whatever you need to do before it happens. So you don't even know that you're doing that, but it's working for you. So we're trying to abstract out all those complexities and just streamline the process for users. If there's 3 or 4 steps to executing some kind of yield or swap or whatever it is, we're doing that for you. We're adding it into the queue before, so that it actually executes for you and you don't have to think about it. It works more as this banking app type application where you can just send the funds and forget about it. And that's really what we're going for here, and just making things simpler, abstracting out the complexity, and just doing whatever what you expect it to do, right? And I think that's really the future kind of some of these interfaces. Is you're going to have a blockchain back end, and your front end is going to be more of a Web 2 type interface. Instead of having to sign a transaction here, there, everywhere, you're just going to confirm. You can sign it with Face ID in the application, and it just goes off and you forget about it and you see it. So that's kind of the ethos. That's what's surrounding the whole mission of Oxen Flow.
All right. Looking forward to seeing that in action.
Cool. Awesome. So I'm going to show the sign-in flow just because I have a preloaded account currently. If you go to register, it's the same exact flow as sign-in. Really what you're going to do, you're just going to go here. You're going to enter an email. The email can be anything. It just needs to be a valid string or username. It's really just a username. We don't send any marketing material. It's just there so that you can identify your own passkey. And really all you're going to do is put in your email, tap sign in. It's going to ask for your Face ID for authorization for your passkey. It's going to reconstruct your wallet, and you have a wallet. So this is the same exact thing for register. I like to think it's pretty simple. So hopefully users can find that that's very simple and easy to use. And I guess just going over a bit of this homepage here. This is your homepage. You have you get a bit of your balance here, a bit of how it's split out. We just recently integrated the XRP ledger, so that was a very exciting integration. And I know there's a lot of news coming out about XRP staking on Flare, and really one of the reasons that we did that was so that we can kind of bring that to users in an abstract and an easy way. So we're really hoping, we're going to be right on that news and right on the tail of that news. So whenever that's ready, we're going to be on top of that to offer XRP staking inside of Oxen Flow, and attempt to do it in a one-tap process. So you tap, you stake, and you're good to go.
Yep.
So here, what you can see is we have both Flare and the XRP ledger networks here. You can see your assets in both. You can see your history for Flare. I guess I don't have any history there for some reason. But you can see your history for Flare. And basically, so we have an indexer. We're indexing all these transactions. You can see all your history there. You can also see it for the XRP ledger as well. We are integrated with Topper. So we make it very simple to just go deposit. And if you want to deposit XRP, you tap XRP. If you want to deposit Flare, you can deposit Flare. And boom, you can just go through the Topper flow and have that deposited right into your account. We also are able to withdraw with Topper as well. It's the same flow. You can use your withdrawal to your bank account or debit card with Topper. Same thing, send in request, pretty basic. You're able to just add in any address. If you want to send it to an XRP address, we can send to an XRP address here if we paste an XRP address in. So we have that here. However many is available is sent and shown there. One of the big things that we started off with Oxen Flow is creating usernames. So the idea of a username is really just something that ties your address to a username so that users can find you. You can find them in the send and request tab. And really what this is, it's an NFT. You're able to mint your username. You're able to own it. You can send it anywhere if you want to send it to another user, but whoever owns it owns that username. We also tie in profile pictures as well, and we're going to eventually tie in XRP addresses. There's a few technical hurdles that we need to overcome for that to work, but it will come in the future. The Earn tab. This is really where we're streamlining a lot of the yield generating portion of the app. So what we have now is the FTSO delegation portal. And really what it is if there was no funds here or we weren't delegated, you'd see this top up would say delegate. You'd tap on it, you'd confirm. So basically we're just adding more funds to delegate and earn yield with. But it's a one tap to delegation or a one tap to add more funds or top up. So you can delegate your funds to the FTSO. In that one tap, it wraps the funds, it delegates it to a data provider, and you're good to go. From here, you can even claim your Flare drops every month. There's a monthly Flare drop, you can claim that there. And I mean, if you're not taking advantage of that, I don't know why you wouldn't be. Until 2026, it's free money. Really should be taking advantage of that. And Oxen Flow makes it very easy to do that, right? You just come here, claim the drop every month, and you're good to go. So that's the earn tab. Auto compound is available if you want to pay the fee. It's a set it and forget it, and you don't even need to come in and claim anything. It just claims everything for you. So that's the earn tab. You can see the profile tab is down here. That's just a little bit about your profile and information. And something we're working on currently is a token swap module. So really what we're doing is we're integrating with the Uniswap contracts that are deployed on Flare. And you're going to be able to swap any token with sufficient liquidity into any token with sufficient liquidity. So we're going to, obviously pick and choose which tokens have the most liquidity or check for that on chain. But you will be able to swap out any given token, and you'll be able to see them on your homepage in your asset list here. And yeah, I mean, we're trying to make this as simple as possible. It's going to be similar to a Phantom, user flow. And, I guess really what you could think of Oxen Flow as the Phantom for Flare. And I would even take it a step further and say we're making it even simpler than that, right? We're making onboarding way simpler than what Phantom makes it. We're making, delegation and yield earning simpler than what Phantom makes it. A lot of these apps today, they use a browser to let the user actually interact with the decentralized application. What ends up happening is you get a lot of user error. It's a free for all. The user doesn't necessarily know if the website that they're navigating to is trustworthy. So we're taking that browser experience and we're making it native. We're connecting the user directly to the smart contracts. They're interacting directly with the protocol without having to know anything about the protocol. So I mean, that's what we're trying to build, right? We're trying to build that user native experience that's familiar. A lot of Web3 apps today, I really don't see it as familiar. It's kind of just another skin of another skin of another skin. And we're really trying to upgrade that experience. So so that's a little bit. That's our demo. I guess were there any questions in the chat or anything? Or
I think we will have a Q&A session. Cool. So there will be some questions for you there. Yeah, usually they come in the chat and then they appear underneath here in text.
Perfect.
So do you have any upcoming integrations?
So
for the wallet app?
Yeah. So S-Flare is definitely going to be one of the upcoming integrations that we're working on. You're going to be able to access it through token swaps. We might make it a little bit easier to access S-Flare, but that's something that we're working on. Obviously, token swaps. This token swaps tab. This is actually a development version, so you're not seeing anything that's live right now. But it is coming. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we can get that out to users. And of course, once XRP staking comes out, that we're going to be right on top of that and trying to bring that to users almost immediately. So just something to keep in mind, there's a couple things to look out for. And I mean, in the meantime, it's a good idea to go download it and play around with it if you haven't already. And I'm always open to feedback. So, I mean, I try and really listen to our users, and I mean, they're the ones that are going to be, they're our power users. Those are the ones that are using the app the most. So I really want to understand what their thoughts are, how they're using it, and how I can streamline that experience for them. So, so I'm always listening to users. DM me on X. My DMs are open. It's at Nicholas Labou if you want to do that, or just even DM our the Oxen Flow account on X as well. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, I mean, I'm always open to feedback.
Yeah, I can see a lot of new people to Flare actually using this, and maybe completely new people to DeFi using.
That's the hope. That's the hope. You're new to DeFi. I don't know how to use it, but but it makes it easy enough where I can navigate it. So.
And it is, of course, nice if you don't have to go and find what the address is of an app, but you can just do whatever you're supposed to be able to do with that app inside the iPhone app that you're running here. So I can definitely see that, because I know from all the messages that I've read, that people go to let's say a DEX, but actually they type the wrong address or clicked on the link, and it looks like that DEX, but they're sending their money basically into nothing.
To a black hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really what I want to try to avoid. And I'm hoping to do that with this experience. And I think it has great potential to do that.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to seeing people, use this. Of course, we will definitely talk about the S-Flare integration. Maybe it can go further than swapping. Who knows? Like staking and unstaking.
I do everything. I'm the developer, so whatever it is, and if it makes sense, then I'm always open to it.
Definitely. Yeah, we will definitely talk about that after the after the stream. So. All right, so you will integrate probably like many of the functionalities of apps. I should probably say, like, you use the smart contracts to address them directly, not go through their UI, which I think is the smart way to do it. That also takes out some of the risk, of course, because some of the UIs can be, I don't know, I've heard things of providers getting hacked and then a fake UI put in the exact same spot, so the URL would actually work perfectly, but
Yep.
Again, you get scammed. So
much more difficult to do that with an iOS app.
Yeah, definitely. You have to go at least through Apple to get that done, and then you probably have a conflict with an existing app. So not so easy. All right. Do you let's see, maybe there are questions.
Sure.
Q&A. There we go.
Large number. Okay, so a large number of people still custody their tokens on centralized exchanges. Why do you think it's so, and what strategy will Oxen Flow take to reduce that number? So I think a large number of people, and this is just my opinion and kind of just observing the space, is a large number of people still custody their tokens on the SEX is because it's easy. It's easy, and it's quick to offboard. So if they really want to buy and sell something quick or try and make a quick buck, they're using a centralized exchange to do so. They're never pulling their funds off the exchange, and they really think that the main functionality of these cryptocurrencies is to make a US dollar value, right? They don't see it as a piece of technology. They see it as more of a stock, which is unfortunate. But one of the ways and one of the strategies I think that we kind of change that is to market to them in a way that teaches them about what the cryptocurrency is and what it can do, right? It's a lot of education. I think that with the right marketing strategy, you can teach users. You just need to grab their attention. Previously or currently, right, a lot of the attention is grabbed with meme coins. I think what we can do, honestly, with Oxen Flow is we can really market, flare drops as this passive income. You get your flare off of your exchange, you send it to Oxen Flow, and it's so easy to earn yield. It's very similar to how people are really adding a ton of volume on things like Phantom so that they buy their token, they move it to Phantom, and then they're starting to trade meme coins. That's their use case for it. I think if we create a clear use case for them to earn some portion of yield, it at least gets their foot in the door, right? They're off the exchange, and then from there they can be like, oh wow, well this isn't the only thing that this can do. This is, it makes sense for me to now start custodying my funds, especially on something that's easy or simple as Oxen Flow. So breaking down those barriers with Oxen Flow, building up the education, and then picking the right marketing strategies and the right marketing funnels. I think those are the three things that are really going to kind of move people off of using a centralized exchange, and offering them the ability in app to off ramp and on ramp. I would love to do it natively. I would love to custody funds and give people money back and fiat and trade it back and forth directly in app. Unfortunately, that's not feasible. And I don't think it's feasible for any wallet applications today because of the regulations that surround custody and basically that whole space. So, eventually maybe we get there, but for now, what we do in the interim is use Topper. Topper's a great service. They have a wide expanse of coverage throughout the world. One of them being in the United States. They have great coverage in the United States. So that was really why I went with Topper, and they do make it easy. It's pretty simple to set up a quick account and get started with them.
Yeah. And I guess I would add to that, having your funds not in a central exchange, but in your own custody on just on a blockchain. I kind of make sure that you decide what is going to happen with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, you're giving it to someone, and they just put numbers in a computer, and you look at a screen. But that,
you don't own it. Right.
Yeah, it's like the bank, right?
Exactly.
You when you go there with cash and you give it, it just changes into numbers, and you hope those numbers are still there when you need them. Exactly. And normally they are, obviously, but it's still like you are handing over your control.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that, especially when they use a bank, because they just want to not worry about it, I guess, and
of course not.
That is the nature of this whole thing. It's how do you appeal to the ones that don't want to worry about it, because they do make up a lot of the majority of how money moves and everything else. But if you can appeal to those users and just kind of do a set it and forget it type deal, but also making sure that they are custodying their own funds, like that is the secret sauce.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, hopefully we see a shift towards more of a self-custody, and especially when we start seeing tokenized RWAs, people are going to want to maybe own those RWAs outright and be able to have them in their wallet, and maybe just have them think about more so of who actually owns either their securities, their stocks, or whatever that real world asset is.
Yeah.
So there's definitely been an uptick in adoption, and I think we're moving in the right direction for sure.
Let's see. Are you planning to integrate more networks into the wallet? Well, you already have 2. So
we have 2. When it makes sense, we will. So, for instance, if there are some massive integrations that are happening for Flare and Bitcoin, if it makes sense to integrate Bitcoin into the application, then yes, we will. We really want to kind of bring the best offerings to our users, the most streamlined offerings and the easiest offerings to use, and the most risk-off offerings. So really don't want to get into any kind of risky type, protocols that are going to allow users to enter. They can enter into it, but we're sort of kind of filtering that for them. So when it makes sense, we will be integrating additional networks. Yes.
All right.
So there is currently only, so the question is, I'm an iOS developer. Will there be a version for Android or Chrome? The short answer is yes, eventually. We just don't have a timeline for when the Android implementation is going to start or end. But the plan is to, once we hit critical mass on iOS, the plan is to begin that implementation. I also do have knowledge and expertise in Android as well. I've developed Android apps and that whole bit. So there was a reason that we went iOS first. One of them being that I do have the most experience with iOS, and I know more of the ins and outs on the Apple App Store as opposed to the Google Play Store. And I know that iOS apps do have a different sort of user base. But that being said, the plan is to roll out on Android once we do hit critical mass on iOS.
Clear.
What does it mean to be for a wallet to be built on Flare? What uniqueness does Flare bring to Oxen Flow? I think this is a great question. So there's a big reason we built on Flare originally, and one of that is one reason, or there's a couple actually, but two big reasons. One was scalability. Flare network is fast, it's cheap, and it scales. It also allows outside data to be provided on chain, and it's very, very cheap to actually use that data. So if we want to integrate with any decentralized applications, for instance, the price that's shown on the homepage of Oxen Flow, that's using the time series oracle. Those are using prices from the time series oracle to confirm those prices, and it updates every few minutes. So cheap data, right? It's a scalable network, cheap data, and the third one is the initial vision was for Flare to connect everything. Oxen Flow, we agree with that sort of vision, and we can also see that Flare Networks is taking the steps in the right direction to make that happen and make that possible. So really, we want to be able to kind of harvest all of the great things from all these different chains, because they're going to be connected to Flare. So Flare is going to be that honeypot, right? And being built on Flare means having access to all of those external chains as well. And being part of that honeypot. There's a couple of new exciting things with TEEs that are coming out. I think that's another step in the right direction, and kind of just gives us confirmation that we're building on the right chain. Building on Flare means building and having access to everything else as well. So I would say that that's really what Flare brings to Oxen Flow.
And of course, you were already connected to Flare
exactly.
Before this, right? So it's also a logical point to start.
Right, exactly. I have been a data provider on Flare since conception, so it just makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I guess that's it for the questions. So, do you have anything you want to share? Any news you want to share before we go into the?
No, just tap that link in our bio or wherever it is, or search us on the App Store. It's just search Oxen Flow on the App Store and download it. Try us out. If you don't like it, tell me. If you do like it, also tell me. So go download it.
Absolutely. All right. It sounds great, and I hope a lot of people will be doing that, and will be giving you all types of feedback, and I'll connect with you later on some some possible integrations and such. Yeah, people, thank you for watching. It was great to be back. And I want to really thank Nick for showing us the app and for explaining everything about the app. I think it has great potential for a lot of people who've been, fighting with trying to get into DeFi, maybe trying to get their friends into DeFi. And now you can tell them, I went through something I don't want you to go through. So if you want to start, do it simply. You can try this. I think that would be, one of the great ways of getting people on board. So thank you, Nick, for being here. I hope to see you back again at some point in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. It's been great.
Cool. All right, people, until the next time. See ya.
All right, Lex.